Welcome to the Beyond AI podcast, a series that highlights the best thought leadership from the best guests on the best shows. This episode features Derrick McManus speaking with Alexandra King on the Beyond podcast.
But it became
a very out of the ordinary day. My name is Derrick McManus. I'm a South Australian Special Forces police officer. I was shot 14 times with a high-powered rifle.
Force was attending a house at Nuriootpa to arrest wanted man Tony Grosser when he was shot 14 times.
We were going there to arrest him, bruh. The next thing I know is I'm just falling to the ground.
Did you know what happened to you?
I feel 2 bullets hit my left thigh and it felt like a sledgehammer just driving into my thigh. I lost about 30% of the muscle in my thigh. While I'm lying on the ground, he is still shooting. He fired 18...
He's still shooting you?
Yeah, he fired 18 times.
So he wants to finish the job?
No, he was committed to finishing that job. It doesn't stop me doing what I need to do. I missed his head by just millimetres. I fired 13 times.
You were really in a bad state and brave enough to still fight.
Brave enough, well trained enough. My forearm's broken in 2 places, folds backwards along my forearm. I was on the ground for 3 hours. He fired 2,000 rounds.
Okay.
Dust is falling into my eyes. Okay. And believe it or not, I relaxed in that moment.
This is
very big
serious mind control.
The one thing that kept me going was do that. The doctor said I was 30 seconds from death and I would have died. Anything better than death is a bonus. He stayed in the house for another 38 hours.
Oh.
It's the longest siege ever in Australia. And today he walks amongst us. All right, and it's this point that I really need to set my mind for making sure that I'm going to be okay. And I've come up with a philosophy of sustained optimal performance. The thing that kept me calm in that time is that in Star Group, in any special forces, we are trained to operate at 100% of the time. Right, and if I had tried to sustain that peak performance at that time, I would have been pushing myself, I would have been rushing, I would have been trying to do more than I was capable of. My heart would have been racing, my blood would have been pumping, and because of 2 severed arteries, I would have been dead within minutes. But I knew that I needed to control panic, control shock, slow down my heart rate, slow down my breathing. And by doing that, I was able to logically think through what I needed to do to sustain that optimal performance.
Okay, so you had the hand back and you were now going, right, we need to focus here on keeping calm. So you actually made that decision to be...
Absolutely rational and calm.
So what's
logical.
next?
So where I was at that stage, I was still exposed to another glass sliding door underneath another veranda. So I've gone, this is not a good place to be. I started moving to the next corner of the house to see what I could find around there and potentially get round the house. I only take about 2 or 3 steps away from the wall. My legs collapse. I fall to my knees. I crawl along on my knees for about 2 or 3 meters. Getting weaker all the time, I fall to my hands and knees. Pistol in one hand, and I'm crawling along on my hands and knees. I get around the corner, and I look up, and there are gas bottles and a fence in front of me. I don't have the energy to get up and climb over this fence. I collapse to the ground, roll onto my back, and that's where I stay for about the next 3 hours. I was on the ground for 3 hours. He fired 2,000 rounds in that 3 hours.
Even though the wife was shouting to him, going, Tony, stop.
She was shouting, and the videographer kept the video running. He only had a certain amount of battery life. It was back in 1994, so batteries weren't great. So he would take video, he'd stop video. But the video shows that she left the house with the 2 children 7.5 minutes after the shooting started. So she's out of there. Yeah. I have no idea about that. No. But she is not my concern. She
did the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But she was never my concern. What I knew about her was she was no threat. She was never going to be that kind of person. So I was worried about where he was. He starts shooting through the bricks in the wall directly above me. Dust is falling into my eyes from those bricks, and I have to cover my eyes to stop myself from being blinded. And I'm my instant panic was I was lying under the kitchen window. I felt like he was standing in the kitchen. And if he looked out that kitchen window, he would see me on the ground. So as much as I can't move a lot, I've shimmied closer to the wall and put myself on a 45-degree angle so that I would lower that profile if it did look out. But eventually I look at the dust that's being distributed by these bullets being fired through it, and I see that the dust is on a very flat trajectory going straight out. So that means that he is at that level and firing straight into the bullet and straight into the brick and straight out. And I also see that that's well and truly above the kitchen window, and he must be in the attic of this old farmhouse. And so at that stage I go, I can relax. And believe it or not, I relaxed in that moment. I could actually wind down and start thinking about my body. And that's what I said, got to control panic, got to control shock, slow down my heart rate. You're telling yourself this? Absolutely, going through this in my mind the whole time. And when we lose blood from the prefrontal cortex, that's where we do our higher level thinking, our planning, our processing, our creativity. And so by controlling shock, I can get that blood back up there and do that higher level thinking again.
Wow, you're actively pumping blood to your brain.
But it was just a process that I knew I needed to go through. And as I say, I was a highly trained diver, and we only have a certain amount of air on our back when we go diving. And if we get stuck, one of the things that we are trained is slow down your heart rate, slow down your breathing, stay calm, because that'll make that air last longer.
How can you stay calm if you're stuck diving?
Well, you have to.
My word.
And that's where you don't panic as well, because you need to be able. And most of the water that we dive in is black water. So a foot below the surface, you can't see your hand in front of your face. So everything has to be done by feel. And if you're in panic, you can't logically work out what's around you, where your line is tangled, what's holding you down. So that's very big
serious mind control stuff on a level that's elite. No,
I like to call it
elite.
Thank you. I like to call it mindset and mind management. Because we really need to manage our minds.
I've had mindset people here before, but this is
Thank you.
World class. Okay.
So I'm lying on the ground. I'm controlling my body. I'm getting that blood back into my brain. And one of the thoughts that runs through my mind is that he's now shooting just continuously. I'm vulnerable. I'm on the ground. I can't all up, but nobody actually entered the house to risk their lives.
Is he in prison now?
This happened in 1994, which is about 31 years ago. He got 22 years jail, so he's served his time, and today he walks amongst us. That's our court system. He has never accepted responsibility for the shooting. He's never apologised for the shooting. He's never said it was the wrong thing to do.
He walks amongst us.
He walks amongst us. Once it got to court, it became very much about Derrick McManus, but he didn't shoot Derrick McManus, so there's that little bit. So 85% of my mind is very comfortable. He's probably never going to be a threat to me. 15% of my mind says don't be complacent. Never give up on that vigilance, that you cannot predict what a coward's doing. A brave person have predictable actions. A coward is not predictable.
They're erratic.
Absolutely erratic. They act in the moment. They take opportunities that you just don't expect.
Yeah, they say a scared animal is a very dangerous animal.
Absolutely.
A cornered animal.
Yep.
And
that's exactly what he was. He was a cornered rat. And he responded that way.
He survived.
The people that I'm more concerned for in his walking around Adelaide is my children. Because I know that if he runs into my children, we don't hide on social media or anything, but if he meets my children, I feel that he would want to get right up into their faces and say, I want to tell you my side of the story. And so I have sat down and discussed this with my children. If this happens, this is how you might feel. This is how you might be able to respond. These are the things that you can do.
I'm sure they're well trained in mindset and controlling our own mind animal.
My mind sometimes goes out of control, and and my kids start lecturing me, Dad, this is what you teach.
Oh,
this is
good.
what you need.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They pull me back into line every
well,
time.
it's only natural. It's only human. And I know I'm sure in your life you've had since then moments where you've had to use that process since,
I like to think that I use it every day, but for everyday scenarios.
That was Derrick McManus speaking with Alexandra King on the Beyond podcast. Visit beyondai.media to learn more. See you on the next episode.